I should have got my spot back on the front row, but apparently the powers to be
Whoa,
decided that it was not correct.
I am
Not
not
sure what
involved in
case they could
any
have
of
come up
this.
with because it was a legit caution.
Now, John, if
So,
you know, if there's anyone who would side with you on this, it would be me because I too have issues with the review committee.
hmm this review committee person
It's
has got way too much power.
kind of like the France family.
Yes.
I don't have an issue with the rules committee.
Really, this is more like a national title chase between John and I for points.
Speeding up, no slowing down.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Track Packers podcast for episode 28 of season 4. We will have a full field of folks here on this podcast episode eventually, but here we are with myself, Mason, along with the Pelkeys, Jessup, and Becca. Becca returning after a few episodes. Becca, how are you doing?
Good, just keeping busy. Obviously, little baby Riley is a handful, and she's on the move these days. And she was at Dakota Speedway this past weekend. She took part in trunk or treat, so a lot of our friends at the racetrack got to meet her for the first time or see her. And so, yeah, it was super fun to see her all dressed up, going from car to car, and yeah, it was a super fun weekend out at the racetrack and felt good to see so many close friends and friends who we typically don't see at Dakota Speedway come and race with us last weekend. So got to go into the pits, got to socialize for a little bit, and I could have been there till 6 a.m. like the good old days. But I'm a mom these days, and I had a curfew, and I respected those curfews, and my babysitter, and thank you, Grandma. And yeah, it was a good weekend out at the racetrack. Missed it.
Definitely was a fun weekend. Great weather, too, so it was definitely enjoyable to not have to deal with too much shenanigans weather-wise. Jessup, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Ready for the school year to be over.
It's only just like a month in, though.
Hey, a person can hope and dream, okay?
Well, look on the bright side. I guess there's only 8 months to go?
No, that's too much.
That would put you at about the end of May.
Hmm.
Think positively.
I think they said there's only like 52 Mondays left.
52 Mondays. That would be a full year.
Yeah, well, it'd be over by then.
Well, it would be over, but then you'd start on the next round unless you're planning to do something different come next school year.
You don't know my life.
Always always up for an adventure, I guess. Yeah.
Hey.
Always full of surprises over there at the Pelkey Palace. I am doing well myself. I actually got to spend most of the weekend over at the Pelkey Palace, so thank you, Becca and Jessup, for letting me stay in your household. It was a good time, and got to spend some time with Riley, so that was always fun as well.
Yes. It was good having you here, and your tab is on the way for your weekend expenses. So, Pelkey Palace is always happy to have you.
Am I getting billed for the air conditioning in the house?
Well, now that you mention it, we can add that as well.
That in itself will probably be 90% of the bill. Oh, look, a nice little heater.
I don't understand what you're saying, Mason. Why are you being so negative?
Not being negative because today I got enough heat because I think it got up to 92 in Fargo today. So it feels like July.
First it's too cold, now it's too hot.
Yep. No in between. But hey, we're enjoying the nice weather while it's here, and then we'll see what the weather does in the winter. But I want to thank all you watchers and listeners of the Track Packers podcast. We greatly appreciate the support and all the feedback and people tuning in over the last few weeks. I want to give a few shout outs to a few people in particular, to Jennifer Dahl over in Eastern North Dakota, Kaden Germanson from around the Bismarck, Mandan, Minot area, and Tony Miller from down in South Dakota, Western Minnesota. So people tuned in from all across the region, so that's cool to see. So thank you guys for the continued support. And thank you to our presenting sponsor, Hitch Harness, Tyler Hall out of Fertile, Minnesota, driver number 60, IMCA modified. And on occasion, we'll dabble in a couple different other vehicles, but want to give a shout out to hitchharness.com, where you can check out all the products that Hitch Harness provides. Of course, their signature product is their single or double style receiver hitch to keep that receiver hitch safe, stored in the back of your truck bed, because we don't want it flying out, injuring anyone, such as Jessup. We don't need him to get injured any more than he has been in his life. So keep that hitch safely in the back of the truck, and check out hitchharness.com for all other sorts of accessories that you could utilize in your race shop potentially. So thank you, Tyler, for the support of the podcast. As you can see, we finally have a lineup change. Senor Jessup is on the pole. I am also in the front row for the first time in like 10 weeks, it seems like. Becca's in row 2, and John will be joining us eventually in just a few minutes. He will be also in row number 2. So,
he'll be tail end Charlie.
He will be tail end Charlie since he missed draw cutoff for this episode. So, lineup is all set. Let's get things started with the waving or drop of the green flag and get right into who or what we are repping. Jessup, who or what are you repping?
I am repping this very fashionable Lesota 100 crew shirt that I got from Mason. I'm not sure how I got on the crew, but I am proud to be a crew member of this fine podcast.
I'm glad that the shirt works well for you.
And I'm also proud to be your back-to-back current podcast leader.
This is the first time you've been in the lead in like 2 months, so.
Yeah, but that's because John doesn't say anything.
He doesn't shut up.
Well, no. It's because John doesn't... Everything that John says that gets him a caution gets put under the red flag conditions.
So is that the trick, that you have to say something that's a little bit...
So if I say anything questionable, I'm going to just start going off the rails to make sure we go into red flag.
Great.
More editing for Mason.
Yep, good to know for editing purpose. So at least he warned me, so.
Hey, I'm a give it. I give it my all for my fans.
Alrighty then. Well, it's a bright looking shirt, and you're welcome. I'm glad it fits you.
Thank you.
As far as who or what I'm repping, I think I've shared this koozie before. It's a Cole Searing koozie. So he's been busy during the special and invite season in his number 10 with Minnesota Late Mount out of Huron, South Dakota. New hat. Thank you to Austin Weist in the 471 NX Legend. He's giving these out during Trunk or Treat. And so nice to have a new hat to add to the stable. And new shirt this year. This is Sam Fankhauser, the number 11, out of Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Drives a Wissota Street Style.
That is right up your alley, Mason.
It is. It definitely is. Happy to support Sam, and I think I'll be seeing him this upcoming weekend in Ogilvie at the Fall Classic. So it'll be nice to see him after about almost 2 months since I saw him last over in Jamestown. So it'll be nice to see Sam again. So that's who or what I'm repping. Becca, who or what are you repping?
I am repping Haley and Livy Keller. This is their new shirt for this year, their first full season in the slingshot division. They've been racing primarily here at the Dakota Speedway, but they've also been racing over at the Southwest Speedway and the Jamestown Speedway. So they've been traveling and getting their feet wet in that slingshot division and steadily improving week after week. So this is the front, and then on the back, got a nice, very fancy little design of their slingshots up on the track. So nice little shirt for them. And to cap off their racing season, they got a second and third place finish at the Oktoberfest over at the Dakota Speedway this past weekend. But it sounds like they might be racing down at Clash on the Coast up this upcoming spring. So glad to see them too continuing their racing journey, going into the off season and preparing for next year already.
Excellent. That's good to hear that they're enjoying racing and they're going to be traveling with their dad Jeremy down there over the winter months. So,
and their sister, their youngest sister Bridget, got the win in the Power Wheels race at Oktoberfest, and it sounds like she'll be getting a slingshot as well. So all three Keller girls could be racing in the very near future.
Boy, Jeremy's going to be really busy here over the next couple years. John Breckel has joined the field.
I apologize I'm late, guys. I actually went out to Midway tonight to work on some bowling ball stuff because I haven't bowled in 2 weeks with traveling and work and everything else. So I went out there to get some stuff ready for tomorrow, and I was actually going to practice just a couple of quick games. And then they needed a sub. They saw me walk in. They were in frame like 4, and they're like, "Can you sub? We need you like now." I'm like, "Oh yeah, well let me go grab all my stuff because I only brought one bag in." So went out there and started bowling and got done around 10:15 tonight is when I got done bowling.
Wow, you made quick time then back at home, and you even got your racing shirt on.
I did. I got my racing shirt on. So I am matching Mason. I am wearing the second Weist racing shirt that I got for Austin Weist. It's got his legend car on the back. This is the like charcoal gray one that they have. The reason why I am wearing this shirt though is because in 2 weeks is the Legend Dirt Car Nationals up at the Nodak Speedway in Minot. But also, Austin had kind of a tough Oktoberfest until the feature. So didn't even make it to the start-finish line on the first night with a flat tire and an incident. Then finished third out of his Consi, which they took top 3. So Austin started 24th and then worked his way to 5th in the finishing order on Saturday night for Oktoberfest to become hard chargers. So he had a pretty good Saturday. Friday was pretty dismal, but Saturday was a lot better.
Yeah, he already had time to warm up his tires on Friday.
That is correct.
So I guess in that aspect, not much wear and tear. So glad that Saturday panned out for him. So cool shirt.
I just want to say that just because John knows he got bumped from the front row, I feel like he just didn't want to join us on time for the podcast tonight.
I did say I was going to boycott because the review committee, to everybody that's listening on this podcast, went through and did review that caution flag and determined that it was not valid. So I should have got my spot back on the front row, but apparently the powers to be decided that it was not correct.
I am not involved in any of this.
Because it was a legit caution.
Now, John, if there's anyone who would side with you on this, it would be me, because I too have issues with the review committee and the powers.
I do too. This review committee person
is kind of like
way too much power.
Kind of like the France family.
Yes, it truly is. But no, in all seriousness, I did deserve that caution. I completely missed a segment during the podcast that I should have been aware of. But the only saving grace for that was that Mason did not actually send us the agenda that day. So then again, we could have changed out the agenda without any of us knowing. So that would have been the argument from like an audit side.
What's an agenda?
So exactly. So with that being said, it is a valid caution and I will accept it with grace. Maybe.
Mason?
Well, before we move on to the next segment, I just want to point out that the link for the podcast notes and agendas has not changed in 3 years. So unless you're like Becca and like somehow lose the link, But I know John, because he's very stubborn when it comes to reading things such as ad reads that Becca provides, or even the agenda that I provide. Your caution or your rebuttal to the caution does not hold any water.
But you didn't have any proof. Where's your supporting documentation to prove that you sent off something?
What's an agenda?
Moving on. We're moving on to the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind and giving a shout out to Isaac Hot Sauce Sondrol in the 12S IMCA Modified and the 104 IMCA Stock Car. You can follow his racing at 12S Racing on Facebook. We unfortunately did not see him race at Oktoberfest and might be calling it a year, but we'll see. I know farming's really busy this time of year, so I'm focused on that and his young son as well. And so thank you, Isaac, for your support on the podcast as well. Now, I have a few selections. John or Jessup, did you have anything for the hot sauce segment this week?
I told you my one. I like the 56 of Ryan Ost.
That is a very cool scheme. So it was tailored a little bit in honor of Lane, who's still recovering from his injuries from last week in Jamestown. But I believe that is a throwback scheme to Steve Ost's paint scheme in 2008.
That is correct. Mason is right on that.
Yep. By the way, did you see Lane posted on Facebook today?
Yes, that he was 1 week free of TikTok.
That is a good thing.
Oh, he did post it. I actually didn't see that. What did he say?
Yeah.
Guys?
Yeah, one week.
Literally just 1 week free of TikTok addiction.
It's a very Lane-esque post.
Okay,
It's
well,
very
that's good though that
lighthearted.
he's. It's good though that he's actually like joking, because
Yes.
that means that he's hopefully going through recovery, getting everything back and being able to be back to his old self. So that'd be good.
That is my hot sauce, new hot sauce, fresh hot sauce memory rewind.
Well, I'll definitely share the picture of that car because it's really cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. It was a nice tribute to both of them.
Absolutely. John, did you have anything?
I don't have anything planned, Mason, but you know me, I could find stuff.
That is Rusty Wallace behind your head.
That is Rusty Walls behind my head.
There we go.
You know what, guys? I think. Oh, I could definitely find some things here.
He's on the Western Wanderer.
He's on the Western Wanderer.
I'm actually not. You guys would be so surprised that I am actually not on the Western Wanderer site.
Whose side are you on now?
Because I want to know, John, who is this? Because I have no idea whose car this is.
32.
That is Anthony Simonson.
I wasn't going to get that one. That looks.
So that is the 32A. I believe. I know for sure. It might be Andy Simonson, but I believe it's Anthony Simonson. Let me for sure find this. Because
Where's that at? Is that at?
It's out of, that looks like Viking.
I don't know. I got this from, I think this is a Michael Ornis photo. So.
All right. So first thing, let's just break this down a bit. Not so much the photo itself, but that's going to be probably early 2000s.
I believe you're correct on that.
I'm going to say 2.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty early. Let me look here, guys. I have a feeling.
Yep, go ahead, John.
I think I could find it here. Let me double check.
Right. So the second thing I have that we're breaking down here from this photo is we are very unique individuals to be able to name the track just by the corner and the minimal surrounding behind it and the dirt.
Mm-hmm. Very much so, because I think you're right. That might be turns 3 and 4 of Viking, because there's trees off in the background and everything. But yeah, I saw this car and I'm like, I don't recognize this late model at all. And
yeah, I've seen that car before. Unfortunately, Jared Hughes' site is down tonight. I'm not able to get onto it.
Oh my goodness!
John crashed
I
the
know.
site.
I'm disappointed.
52.
That's Jason Tennis.
Well, yes, this is Jason Tennis. John probably
But
hit his
where is
skull
that
on
at,
them.
John?
That looks like Brown County to me.
How
I
can
think
you
that's
tell?
Racine County.
I can kind of tell from the people standing off of turn 2.
All right, fair enough.
Is that Caden Ruby before she became Caden Ruby?
Is that
That is
Underwood?
correct.
Is that McLean County?
That's
No,
Nodak.
this is Nodak.
What? When did you guys have
And Mason,
trade?
what was her maiden name?
Vondel.
Bondo.
Oh, wait, never mind. That's off of 1
Yep.
or
'Cause
2.
this is
That's
an
off of
early
2.
May photo because the trees haven't grown and everything.
See, I was thinking more of the backstretch of corner 2 out of McLean.
Yep.
Josh Johnson.
Ding, ding, ding.
Because it's got the X on it.
No, the number is pretty.
And last
Is
one.
that, go back.
Yeah.
Go back real quick. That gets a 1
What track is
thumbs
that,
up.
guys? What track is that?
That's
Oh,
River
well.
Cities.
Yeah,
That's definitely River Cities.
I was gonna say River Cities too, but I
Yes.
give it a 1 thumb up. 1 thumb up. Yeah.
It's solid. It's a solid scheme.
This gets meh, a thumb sideways. It's just too flashy.
I just don't know who this is.
I'm sure you don't, John.
I don't.
I'm actually surprised Mike's speaker went down to. This is in Viking, by the way.
That's definitely in Viking. You could definitely tell the trees off of the turn.
That's the hockey rink. Is that the hockey rink off of 4 or 1?
No, the hockey rink's behind the grandstand, kind of off of turn 1 now, which is
So
now.
what's this
Mhm.
building?
That's fine. I think that's just a house.
Oh,
Who is this?
Who is this,
driver,
Jessup?
I don't know. Tennis?
No, 10X. This is a Wisconsin
Bitson?
modified.
It's Bitson,
Yeah. But which one?
Dustin?
Yeah.
but which one? Uh-huh.
There's like 8.
Yeah, I know. But that's the
Mhm.
next one.
Look at me doing
There we
things. That was probably back when the $5 footlong was still around.
This is true. Okay, you guys ready for mine?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I got a couple here.
Ooh, that's kind of a cool looking car.
Okay,
That's
I know.
really
dude.
cool.
Becca or Jessup,
That's-
do you want to guess this one?
I want driver and I want year.
Oh, fudge.
14. Is that Wayne?
Mm-mm.
No, it's Randy Tarno.
Oh, I
Yep,
wasn't gonna
Mason's
get
right
that.
on the driver, but now what year?
2001.
No.
2006?
That looks. Oh, maybe.
The
I
thing-
don't know.
The thing is, what track do you guys think this is?
I'm gonna say Jamestown, but
No, I think this looks like
Dakota?
Aberdeen or Devil's Lake.
It's Dakota
That's
It's
Dakota
not-
Speedway.
because there's nothing around. So okay.
Oh, okay.
Becca, when did Dakota Speedway open?
1990.
But it's a Wissota car.
That's That's a little newer than 90. I'll say 98.
Just 7 years off.
91 or 2005.
It's 2005.
I was like, when did they have Wissota mods or Midwest mods there? Because I think they had a special like in 2011 one time.
You know what's funny, Mason? This is Mod Tour.
Really?
So
Mm-hmm.
here, let's go back real quick for hot sauce memory rewind for John. John, when did the Midwest mods start for Wissota?
Midwest Mod's first year was 2000 and was it 2? It was 1 or 2.
I couldn't remember if it was the end of the 90s or start of the 2000s.
It's the start of the 2000s. I know it was when they started like taking off because that's when they started joining the 100. It was during that period. And I remember reading about it because I have the old Wissota yearbooks that have the old Wissota 100 in from Cedar Lake, and then the Western 100 in from Brown County. And I remember the first year I read it when they had the Wissota Midwest Modifieds as part of the program.
Remember
Jessup,
what?
you might be right though. It might be 99. I swear it was in the early 2000s. But long story short, Midwest Mod started there. Jamestown picked up Midwest Mods in 2005. Was the first year they had them full time. The first year of the Stampede was 2004. And Travis Sauer won that back in 2004.
He was pretty good.
Okay, so this is Randy Tarno from 2005. This is during Mod
John?
Tour because Mod Tour was not sanctioned yet.
All right, I got another tidbit on the Midwest mods for you, John, since I am Mr. B-Mod Pack the Track.
Yes, you are.
The Midwest mods began in 2001. They're sanctioned by Wissota, starting in that year. And Jim Arnold was the first ever Midwest Modified feature winner at Deer Creek on April 21st, 2001.
That makes sense. I think.
Didn't they
They were
have an
top three
exhibition
in-
the year before, though?
Yeah, I think he was top 3 in national points that year too. Sobraski was actually one of the first drivers in the Midwest Mods too. Remember that all white 7A car?
No.
All
That's a long
white.
time ago.
Oh yeah, it was all white, and it was a very it wasn't a super flashy scheme by any means, but it was all white with like an orange outline in the 7A.
Nice.
Probably similar to the one he ran at the XR race at Ogilvy this year.
Very similar, Jess Mason. Okay, second photo.
That would be Johnny Corral.
No.
Let's say, is it a different Corral?
Well, if it's not Johnny Corral, then it is definitely a different Corral.
Well, you never know if someone was hired to drive this car.
I want you to name both drivers in this picture.
Well, the top driver is Luke Nelson in the 1980s.
Uh-huh.
Of course. Can we get a hint on this one?
It's a Corral.
Driver from Jamestown.
And he's
Good.
sponsored by Perkins and Bumper to Bumper.
Mm-hmm. And don't you like how it's like super like clean too? Like the car doesn't even look like it's been raced.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it says bumper to bumper on it.
It says bumper to bumper.
Bumper.
Yes, it does. It's the sponsor on the back end of it. But Becca, you have to say it right. It's bumper.
Bumper. And then you got a point. Bumper.
And the funny part about this is, guys, is that this is what sort of street stock that's a four-door.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Say, Kelly Hoggo, I think, had a four-door one too. Didn't he?
Okay, it's one of Johnny's kids.
Is there a Jason Carell?
There is. That's Jason Garrell.
Okay.
Yep. This is actually his bomber that he converted into a street stock.
You want to know another fun fact about this photo? That Perkins that sponsored him, I tried ordering a chicken pot pie every year that it was open during Mod Tour, and every year they were sold out.
I'm not surprised.
It's like the
And
ice
now
cream
they're not
machine
even
at
there anymore.
McDonald's.
And then they asked me what I wanted to drink, and I said I would like a chocolate shake. And they told me, "Are you sure you would like a chocolate shake? It's pretty late." And I said, "Why? Is that going to be a problem?" "Well, it takes a lot of work at this point in the night to make a chocolate shake." And so could you order something else? And I said, "Yes, I will have a chocolate shake."
I would do that same thing.
And then
Okay,
I think the year after I said that, it shut down.
let me see here, guys. Do I have any more on here that I could send over, or is it? Those are probably the best two.
Well, excellent. Those are two very nice additions to the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind for this week. Our track pack report is another simple one this week, as we were all at one event this past weekend over in Mandan at the Dakota Speedway for Oktoberfest. And Oktoberfest is always...
I have one more.
Oh, you got one more.
Okay, so
Picture of a bumper.
Now, who is this, guys?
Oh, that's Lane.
Look at
Lane
that.
Mutter.
Lane Mutter of LPT
LPT.
Images.
Yes. Yes.
Young Lane, back in the early 2000s.
Now,
Official track photographer of Dakota Speedway.
now who took this?
That's a great question.
Because he always
Because look at that, somebody caught Lane in action.
Yeah, I'm always curious on who catches the photographers in action. Because, anyways, on to our track packer report, which is pretty simple for this week, as we were all at one event over in Mandan at Oktoberfest at the Dakota Speedway. Well, start with Jessup. What was your takeaway from Oktoberfest?
There were two takeaways. There were a lot of cars, and there were a lot of cautions.
He's not wrong.
Oktoberfest
Lots of
always has some
cautions.
interesting stuff going on.
There's always some underlying thing happening, usually at Oktoberfest. Some kind of shenanigans.
Yeah, there's always something going on, which makes it really fun to go to because there's always something going on. Now, the caution parts, I don't know, it's tough. It's weird.
Cottingham got a lot of broadcast time.
They did.
Yes.
Not just you either, John. Mason.
Oh, Mason helped me out this time. I finally had a helper.
Yeah, I got to announce with John. It was fun to announce up in the booth, and I always look forward to this weekend and kind of get to banter back and forth with John. Of course, we had a lot of fun calling the races, and like Jessup alluded to, no shortage of action to call.
And no sort of action even in the tower for us to kind of, talk about. Because we talked about anything and everything pretty much during the races and during the race night, which it's always fun when Mason's up there because we always banter back and forth since we've known each other for umpteen years. I mean, it's been a long while that we've known each other. So my first takeaway is some pretty darn good feature racing. We saw that on Saturday night. There were some really good features. My second takeaway is that there was, like Jessup said, quite a few cars. I will say that earlier in the day on Thursday, Friday, I had said maybe right around 194 cars. And according to the Price is Right, I was the closest without going over, as there was 195 cars.
Was there?
There was.
196.
Okay. Well, there was a couple drivers that registered that didn't show up. So maybe it's right around that 190, that 195.
We're going to have
So
to double check this to make sure John did not go to over. Kind of
this
like
is
the
true.
little hill climbing guy, the mountain
This
climber.
is, I know, right? I love that game on The Price is Right too.
That's
That one I really
too
like.
much.
I like that one, and I really like Plinko. I've loved those two for years.
I like the punch one.
Oh, that one's newer. Yeah, I remember seeing that one.
The little hole, the paper holes, and you name the prices on a couple, and you walk up, and you're like, and then you
Yep.
open it up, and they're like, "Do you want to keep your $50?" No, I'm gonna go punch another thing. Do you want to keep your 125? No, I want the big check for 50,000. And then you punch Bob.
Oh God.
I was just happy to be at a track and not have to rush home after the races and got to go into the pits and socialize and see people. And so that was super fun. I really, really, really enjoyed seeing my people and my racing family. And hopefully next year, I think we're gonna see if we can start bringing Riley to the track. She had a great time at Gov Cup, so we'll see. We're gonna ease her into it. So hopefully mom and dad can stay after the races and hang out with friends and all that good stuff. So yeah, I really just enjoyed being at a track. Uh, I loved Dakota Speedway's efforts that they really tried to make this a family-friendly weekend. It was very kid-orientated, especially on night two. They started Power Wheels races, and they did that after the B-Mains, which was super cute. Trunk or Treat seems to be growing year after year, so the drivers came up front and handed out candy and swag, which some of our podcasting people got and are proudly wearing. Um, they handed out all sorts of fun stuff and got to interact and meet with the drivers. So I love that. They also had a pancake breakfast at Saturday morning. So and then there was a bike giveaway as well. So I love the efforts that they've been making to just make it just a weekend getaway, a fun, relaxing for the most part, uh, for most drivers anyways, weekend of racing to cap off the season. Again, I guess hang on, there's more racing to come, but for a lot of drivers, I think this was their final race of the year.
I really don't have any further takeaways from what you all have said. So I think we can just get into results because there's a lot of racing action. Your Dakota Speedway Hobby Stocks kicked things off as the first race of the night. And that was actually a pretty good race. You had Kelly Horner, who had just won the Stampede last week, out in front. And then he had a heavyweight battle between him and Brody Michelson. That was a fun race to watch, John.
That was a really fun race to watch because Josh Rourke threw something at Kelly, but ended up with a flat tire in the process. And then that kind of opened the door for Brody Michelson, who tried everything to get around Kelly, eventually finally got around him. And then I talked to Kelly a little bit later on during the night, and it sounded like Kelly's car was leaking oil pretty bad. So it was a good spot for him to end the season because more likely the engine is gone. But Brody had a really quick car, got around him, and good way to cap Brody's season too, because he had a strong run at the Stampede and he had a great run over here at Oktoberfest.
Yeah, he was fast all year at Dakota Speedway, so not a complete surprise to see him in victory lane. So congratulations to Brody Michelson for getting the win. Kelly Horner ended up in second. Seth Keller in third, coming off a strong run that Stampede unfortunately had tech issues after the race. Carly Horner in fourth, and Chris Rangeloff in fifth. Slingshots were next, and there was a really solid field of slingshots. I believe we had 17 slingshots. So
we had 17. It was a great field of slingshots. And Tobias was there. He is one of the creators and owners of the slingshot range. So it was nice to see that Rick was there in attendance. And yeah, that was like Jessup said, that was probably the race of the night, personally, in my opinion, because they were going at it and they were throwing sliders between Haley Keller and Gunnar Reynard, and Gunnar got around Haley going into turns 3 and 4 to pick up the win, and Libby Keller was right there 2 and 3rd.
Yes, very, very fun and clean race towards the end there for the feature win. So that was also great to see as well. And so I'll be interested to see kind of who transitions out of that class in the slingshots, because I know there's probably a couple that will be going into various other divisions going into 2026. But congratulations to Gunnar Reynard for getting the win in front of Haley Keller in second, Libby Keller in third, Landon Hallgren in fourth, and Western U-Ranker from Williston in fifth. So then after those two features, I believe we went into the consies for the Legends and Modifieds to get those all sorted out for their feature event. We had 51 Legends and I believe 35 Modifieds. So
that is correct. Yep, that is correct. And then Mason, after that, we went to intermission because we had 2 B mains in the mods, 3 B mains in the Legends. Top 3 from the Legends took it. Top 4 from the mods took it from each one of those 2 B mains. And then from there was when we hit the Power Wheels. We did track prep, and then we went through.
No. Oh, I started this way too late.
By the way, Jessup, I got a really good cover photo from you, so it's good. We could use that later. So, I mean, you could just lay down, Jessup, and then we could just tape. We could just continue going. So, and then we went into the IMCA sport mods, and Mason, it was the Rich Pavlich. It was the Rich Pavlicek show.
No, this was the show.
It was the caution. Did you know, race fans, that Cottingham Insurance will help you with all types of insurance needed, whether it's homeowners, vehicles, or renters insurance? You can check them out at their 2 locations in Bismarck and Underwood.
I will say we had a very competitive field of sport mods.
It was a very diverse field, and it was very nice to see from here's the Eastern drivers that came over, here's the kind of the North and West drivers that came over. So, And we had some action in that race too, because for instance, right, we had the melee that happened on the front straightaway. Darren Schatz got sideways. It looked like a brand new car for Darren too, that he was testing out this weekend. But Darren got a little bit sideways coming out of turn number 4, and there was a little bit of a puddle on the track that Paul Warner hit, and he ended up spinning out as well. And then Lance Lockto was involved in that wreck too. But Paul spun out after he hit the puddle.
Yeah, and like John had mentioned, Rich Pavlicek racing one of Jaden Pavlicek's backup car. That's his backup car. Pretty much was unstoppable. Pretty much the entire weekend too. Like he ran away with the dash and he ran away with the feature. I mean, Keenan Glosser, who's looked really good in that 22 machine as well, really couldn't keep up with him. And so Rich Pavlicek ended up with the feature win after last year finishing runner-up to Gabe DeShaw. Keenan Glosser finished second, followed by Nathan Speed in the 42, Chris Van Mil in the 40, and Jaden Pavlicek was your top 5 finisher. So great show by the Sport Mods, a class that you don't get to see on a regular basis over the Dakota Speedway.
Boy, Mason, there's a lot of shenanigans going on during this podcast right now.
It's similar to how we were calling the racing action now this week.
It really is.
So after the IMCA Sport Mods was the IMCA Hobby Stocks. Again, another class that is not a regular at Dakota Speedway, but is always one of the special ones over at Oktoberfest. And great field of cars on hand for the IMCA Hobby Stocks. And this was a fun race because there was a lot of cautions for one, but there was a lot of
this is what they all got to see. Yeah.
We got to see the Cottingham Insurance caution flag, which, can help you with all types of insurance, whether it's vehicles, homeowners, or renters. And they have 2 locations in North Dakota, in Bismarck and Underwood.
Thank you very much for those wise words, Becca.
I wish they would sponsor us because I think we would for sure have Cottingham sponsored. Pretty much paid off by the end of the 4th show.
At least.
Yeah, I would agree with that. 27 IMCA Hobby Stocks checked in for the weekend, and like I was saying before, had some drivers that were starting way in the back because they had some trouble early on in their heat races. So you had like Brandon Beater racing in a different car. He always likes racing a different car at this event. He came from the back to the front relatively quickly, and he wasn't the only one. I mean, there was Cash Saxon coming from the back, and so it was fun to watch as the first few laps were unfolding. And then at the front, you had drivers such as Kyler Satrin, Diesel Raynard, Max Beater, and Bethan Gowdy kind of duking it out up in the top 3 to 4 positions. And Kyler Satrin, who's kind of had an up and down season with a lot of adversity, held on for the feature win. It was good to see him down in victory lane, I think.
Yeah, that was his first ever win at Oktoberfest, so that was pretty cool to see.
And I think he mentioned in victory lane that was his biggest win thus far in his racing career. So that was pretty cool to see him get the win.
Yeah, so he started outside pole alongside Diesel Raynard. Those two duked it out, and he got the win over Diesel Raynard. Brandon Beater, 22nd to 3rd in Caden Appelt's car. So great run for Brandon Beater. Max Beater finished in 4th. And Bethan Gowdy, really great to see her up towards the front top 5. So great race in your IMCA Hobby Stocks. Then I believe it was IMCA Stock Cars.
That is correct.
Yes.
And they had 29 entries this weekend during Oktoberfest, and that was a really good race to watch because there was a lot of moving and shaking in that feature event too.
Yes.
There was also a lot of cautions.
Falls. We pulled the Fergus Falls and raced them all.
That is true. We didn't even run a consi.
No consi. If you don't have 50 cars, no consi.
And that one was very interesting too because you had Sean Strand, who hasn't run the stock car a whole lot this year, and that stock car sounds like it is spoken for because it was up for sale. Kind of leading the charge, right? But then you had several challengers with him. You had Jason Berg up there for a while. Then you had Scotty Gardner joined in the mix for a while. Then out of nowhere came 14 starting Marlon Seidler, who actually almost stole that win away at the end over there in the 7 machine. And then you had drivers like Brock Beater, who started back in the mid-20s and made his way almost up to the top 5. So there was some really good racing action up there up front in that feature event for the stock cars. And like Jessup had mentioned, there was definitely some cautions.
There was a lot of cautions in this race, and every caution was like a chance for someone new to kind of come into the fold, so that was entertaining to watch. So Sean Strand started on the pole, but yeah, held off all challengers, including the late charge from Marlon Sider, who started 14th. Marlon finished in second. Jason Burke ended up in third. Scotty Gartner in fourth, and Brenner Gridstead ended up fifth place. So fun race to call and watch in your IMCA stock cars. Then you had your NX Legends. Of course, we mentioned 51 Legends, so getting into the feature was no small feat. And this was also a very fun race to watch, wasn't it, John?
Yeah, it was a really fun race to watch. There was a few cautions here or there for the Legends, but some of those cautions were because bumpers were falling off. So some drivers were losing their bumpers year end, and all of a sudden there went the bumper. And it just fell right off of the car. So yeah, so we had two cautions for that. We had a couple of spins, a couple of wrecks. There was actually one pretty big size wreck over in turn two with Ty Olson over there in turn two. But besides that, overall, that was a really good race between drivers such as Bryce Barnhart, who picked up the win, running the middle, Preston Martin, who had dropped back during that feature event and came back up to finish second, Donovan Weist, Noah Madler, and then you had a lot of big heavy hitters in national points or even in track points who started deep in the field, such as Sean Johnson, Austin Weist, and several of those drivers started really deep and made their way to the top 10 really quick, including Cody Mackhart, and were in the mix. And I was kind of having fun, Mason, watching those guys drive through the field. Well, I know you were watching the front battle, and I kept watching the back battle, and each and every lap when we were crossing back and forth for announcing, it was very interesting to see the movers and shakers.
Yeah. Yeah, so congratulations to Bryce Barnhart on the win. Preston Martin made one late charge, and it was almost pretty much a photo finish and edged him by, looks like, 800ths of a second at the line. Noah Madler finished in third, followed by Donovan Weist in fourth, and Austin Weist, one of those drivers that had to come through a consi, 24th up to fifth. So definitely a lot of passing in your Legends. And then capping off the night were the IMCA Modifieds. Again, solid field of drivers and a lot of heavy hitters up at the front. And for a while, it was Jeremy Keller who was kind of had a stranglehold on the Modifieds as of late. In Mandan, but also in Jamestown as he won the Stock Car Stampede just the last week. And Lap Traffic kind of decided this one as the dark horse Travis Hagen was kind of within striking distance and kind of keeping things close enough so that way he could try to make a move in Lap Traffic. And boy, they were swapping lead back and forth for a few laps.
And then Travis got it. They crossed the line. There was actually a caution that happened in turn two, so they went back the last lap because Keller got back by Hagen down the back straightaway, and they reverted back to the last time they crossed the line, and Hagen was your leader, and he drove away after that for the win. And then behind Keller was a great battle between drivers such as Quentin Kinsley, Chris Pittenger, who had a great Oktoberfest. He looked really good during Oktoberfest. And then I think, Mason, you also had Logan Schmitz was up there for a while. You also had Mark Dahl making his way through the field. So a lot of really good battles behind your top two.
Yep, and I believe that was Travis's third Oktoberfest.
Third in a row. Yep. Third Oktoberfest in a row.
Yep, definitely knows how to get to the front at this race event and all sorts of events throughout the summers. So, congratulations to Dark Horse Travis Hagen for getting the win, and that was Oktoberfest and our track pack report for this week. And so, what do we have left for race events, Mr. Dakota Dirt?
Dakota Dirt. I mean, check it out, dakotadirt.org, because there's a lot of great things on that site, and they're also social on social media platforms. So check them out because the race schedule. There's only a couple weekends left.
Two. This upcoming weekend, it's over at the Wilson Basin Speedway, Saturday, Sunday for a 2-day show. Believe it's the Pumpkin Shootout and the makeup for the Fall Classic on Sunday. They said there was going to be increased purse pay across it, so that should be exciting and fun. And the weather still looks to be good for the weekend, so that should be good for them as well. And of course, who can forget the NX Dirt Car? Was it Dirt Nationals or Dirt Car Nationals?
Dirt Car Nationals. Yep, NX Legends Dirt Car Nationals.
Now, what is the difference between an NX Dirt Car and an NX not Dirt Car?
Well, some of them run on asphalt. And then
Uh,
also those asphalt ones, they also might have the bandoleros.
take those bandoleros.
We should run those on dirt too.
We should. There are some people who want to bring in every class. But anyways, as we move on, that is really what's left. I mean, there's this weekend, like we said, Wilson Basin. Following weekend after that is up at Nodak, up in the good old Why Not Minot. Gonna be there and see all the Minotians.
Yep, and I believe the sport class is IMCA stock cars for the NX Legend Dirt Car Nationals.
Yep.
That is correct.
Good job, Mason.
Yep. Yep. Outside the state of North Dakota, there's not much. Just for this weekend, Big Sky's got a double header, both Friday and Saturday. And then we have the one show over 2 days, Ogilvy Fall Classic with practice night on Thursday. So things are really winding down for the season. So those are upcoming events for this weekend and part of next week for North Dakota. There's a couple events taking place outside in a couple weeks, but we'll talk about those as it gets a little bit closer. We will now display the white flag and give a shout out to our good friend Brody Carlsrud in the B1 IMCA stock car, who I believe took this weekend off. I think he's still planning on doing a little bit more racing before the end of the 2025 season. So stay tuned to his Facebook page, Brody Carlsrud B1 Racing on Facebook, and his podcast, The Real Deal with B1. Thank you so much, Brody, for supporting us on the podcast, and congrats on a great season that you've had in that B1 car. Wins of the week. Jessup, you get to start it off.
Number one. Uh-oh. It's late.
You're back.
You're good now. Yep, you're good.
Oh, I got
It was
scared for a moment.
Mason's
I was like,
connection.
oh no. So, my first one of the week is going to go to the Keller family, as they all had a very good weekend, and even one of them won a race. There's the Power
Bridget.
Wheels with Bridget.
Yep.
But the fun factoid of the weekend about them is none of them finished lower than third.
True.
A whole
First,
family.
second, third.
Yep. So the very big win, and Dad, Mr. Jeremy Keller, seemed to be having a wonderful time there over the weekend, and seemed to be one proud papa, and that's going to be a fun dynamic to watch over the next handful of years. So that's my first win. My second win is I'm going to go out east and cherry pick a good win here. Kevin Eater got a very big win. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was 20,000 to win for the, or was it 15,000?
I think it was 15.
I think it was over 15.
Let us look. I just looked it up the other day. ABC.
It was originally 15, and I think they added $500 to the winner's purse, so I think it was 15,500.
Red Clay Classic payout. There's over 250,000. $500 bonuses. Where is it? I just saw it the other day. Let's click on this. Yeah, for some reason I wanted to say it was 20, but I think it's 15,000. Needless to say, it was a lot of money. The highest paying Wasota late model purse for the year.
Yes. Yep.
And Kevin, or at least when I was back home, he always did a ton of work promoting that event, and that was probably a huge fan favorite win there for the locals to keep the money somewhat local. So tip of the cap. I think they had over, what was it, John? 60?
They had 60 late models. Yep.
And another fun tidbit for Wasota. What did we say? Come up with, John? They had almost 90 late models racing this weekend.
Yeah, they had over
89?
90
What?
because they had so they basically had, right? So you had the Red Clay Classic running at ABC. Then
Yep,
you had Aberdeen running,
they had 29.
and yep. So and then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was another track running too that we had counted
Far out
in there.
west.
I don't know if Sheridan. I don't think Sheridan had late models.
Yeah, there was another one that we were talking about too. But yeah, it was close to 90 late models in attendance this weekend.
That's a good weekend for late models.
Mhm.
And my final win of the week is going to go to Dale Blaney. He recorded history by picking up a win over at the Sharon Speedway with the World of Outlaws, making him the oldest driver to win a World of Outlaw sprint car feature event at the age of 61. Now, John, do you know who holds the second place and what their age was?
Was it Steve Kinzer?
Nope.
Oh, I don't know then.
It's a trick question. Dale Blaney is the second oldest one, as he won it at the age of 58. Was it 58? I just have this up. He was in his 50s, 61, and then the previous one was 58. And you want to know the funny part about it, John?
Yeah.
He won it at Sharon Speedway.
And that
Didn't
doesn't
Dave win it too like a couple years ago?
Yeah,
I feel like Dave won last year.
So
Maybe.
that means like Dave and Dale, I think, were the first two to win.
they got to be the oldest relatives. Yeah. Anyways, Dale got the big win. Dave, number two, and they're all at the Sharon Speedway. They got to have that thing like nailed
I
down
think
on setup.
yeah, they got to have some kind of good setup there for sure.
I wonder
So
if they used the same car.
I think they did actually. I think it was the same car.
We're gonna have to do some really deep diving to find that.
Good wins, Jessup. I'll have three quick ones here. First win is going to go to Trey Hess. Picked up the win on, I believe it was Saturday, over at the Brown County Speedway for their Winter Nationals. And why I'm giving a win specifically for there is he finished second there numerous times this season when he went down there. And he's definitely been looking for a win down at Aberdeen, and he finally got one. So congratulations to Trey Hess on getting the win there. Sticking with the street stocks, Justin Vogel is getting my second win of the week as he won both Friday and Saturday at the Madtown Showdown. So congratulations to the Wolverine on claiming both of those wins with the very stacked field of cars. And then third win, I'm going to give another shout out to Beth Ann Gowdy, finishing top 5. And usually the Gowdies, they usually tend to start in the back of the field, whether it's for a heat or a feature race, but she had a really strong heat race on Friday and started towards the front on Saturday. Very competitive, and she looked really, really good out there on the track. So that was fun to see her up there racing for the lead, and at points, looked like she had the fastest car on the track. So definitely a good confidence booster heading into the off season. So those are my 3 wins of the week. Becca, what are your wins of the week?
My first one of the week goes to Rich Pavelchek, who absolutely loves Dakota Speedway, but has come up short at Oktoberfest the last couple of years. He dominated his heat race, dominated his dash race, and then dominated the feature race. So glad to see him finally get into Dakota Speedway Victory Lane. So congratulations to Rich Pavelchek in that IMCA Sportman. Second win of the week is going to go to Johnny Carter, who hopped in Joe Didi's Wissota Street Stock and picked up the win down at the Brown County Speedway this past weekend. Guy can drive anything. And that's not the first time he's jumped in someone else's car to go out and race either. So So congratulations just to Johnny Carter just for hopping in a car and going out there and doing his thing and winning. And then the third win of the week is just going to be the racing community and the way they've really gathered around Lane Schweer. Obviously, he was involved in that nasty wreck over at the Stock Car Stampede, and immediately the racing community came to his aid and have done numerous things to help raise money to help combat what's going to be probably a very expensive hospital bill and recovery bill as well. So there are drinkware for purchase. Lane got new t-shirts for the first time in a long time. Please go buy a t-shirt. There are stickers that you can purchase. A lot of the tracks have done past the helmets. Jamestown did one at the Stock Car Stampede. Dakota Speedway did one this past weekend, as well as Brown County. And I think EMR is going to do one. Is it this upcoming weekend?
2 weeks for now.
Or in 2 weeks. Yeah, and there's just lots of, and then there is also a benefit account set up at First Community Credit Union, and you can go to any FCCU location and donate to the benefit account. So there's many ways, and there's a GoFundMe account. So there are numerous ways to help support Lane and his family as he starts this recovery process, and hopefully we can see Lane behind a race car again one day soon. So if you haven't done so already, please support the Schweer family. There's numerous ways to do it, but it's just so good to see that racing people, folks, family from all over every part of the country is coming together, or over the region is coming together to help Lane, the Schweer family right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been really cool to see the outpouring support that Lane's gotten. Excellent. John, what are your wins of the week?
Okay, so I've got three of them. So the first one I have to give to is I am definitely going to give a great congratulations to everybody at ABC Raceway for the Red Clay Classic. They had over 260 cars, 4 divisions, 74 Midwest mods, 60 late models, 59 super stocks, and I honestly think probably the most impressive one, 67 Wasota modifieds. That is higher than the Wasota 100 for modified car count. So that would be the most in a special this year on any type of event. So great job to them, because I'm going to stick on that fact and go to Steve Stewart, who picked up the super stocks. He moved up 14 positions in that feature event to be your winner. So, I mean, that had a lot of moving and shaking in that event, and he had drivers like Dexton Cook, Shane Skabrowski, Curtin Myers in the field, some of your top national point contenders, and he went from 15th to first. That was pretty cool to see. So that's my first win of the week. My second win of the week is going to Ryan Flotten, because Ryan raced the Madtown Showdown in his Wasota Midwest Modified and his Wasota Modified. He never finished outside of the top 5 during the weekend. He picked up a win and a second in his Midwest Modified during the weekend, and he's had a very good season in that Midwest Modified. He's looked really good in the Midwest Modified, and good to see that he looked pretty good also into the actual Modified itself too. My third win of the week, I am going over to the West Coast, and the reason why is because there was a $10,000 to win IMCA Modified big race this weekend over at Skagit, or I don't know if I said that right.
Skagit.
Skagit.
Okay. Speedway over in Burlington, Washington. And there was a lot of IMCA Modified drivers there. They did it based on a qualifying system for points and everything else. And it was Bryson James, who has been up here for the Dakota Classic Modified Tour before, that picked up the 55 lap A main event out there for over $10,000 to win. So congratulations to Bryson James out of Albany, Oregon, who picked up the win in that 13 machine and was the winner of the Survive the 55 for the name of the $10,000 to win show out there in the Washington area. So congratulations to Bryson.
Sweet. All great wins, everyone. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up the episode? We do still have some Track Packer beanies for sale, even though it doesn't really feel like beanie weather, or at least where I'm at, because it's mid-80s into 90s was the high today. So, but if you want a beanie before things get chilly, let us know. Anything else from the group?
If you can get out there and pack the track, get out there and pack the track because there essentially up here is only 3 weekends left, if you think about it. So 3 weekends close by are left up here in our viewing area before the snow is going to start to fall. I'm not ready for that yet, but it's going to be here before we know it.
I saw a report that it might snow October 11th, which
I saw that too.
coincides with Legend National. So let's hope Mother Nature's wrong. She's been wrong numerous times. Let's hope that that's also wrong. So
I've seen October supposed to be a wave. Up,
yeah.
down, up, down across the whole month. So
Um,
we'll see how that goes. And that's supposed to, I believe, start kind of this weekend in a little bit areas to where we're supposed to go from the 80s to maybe the mid to lower 60s to maybe even 50s. So it's gonna start to be chilly, starting sometime towards the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Jessup, any
But other
last
than
thoughts
that,
from you?
Nope.
get out there and back the track.
Yep.
Get out there and pack those tracks. We only got like 2 tracks left to pack. Pack and play. And with that,
Yes. With
till next
that,
time.
That'll do it for episode 28 of season 4 for the Track Packers podcast. As always, be sure to like, share, comment. Let us know where you may be watching from and what you think of our show. Thank you to our sponsors, Hitch Harness, The Real Deal with B1, Brody, Carlsrud, and Isaac Hot Sauce Sondrol. Like we've all said, just a couple weekends left of racing in our area, so we hope to see you out there packing the track.